All right, guys, what's up? Welcome to Talking Cardboard Live. I'm John, that's Joe, and we're 100% obsessed with the hobby. No industry glaze, just real talk about ripping packs, chasing grails, trading at shows, and geeking out about cardboard, vintage, modern, Hall of Fame, prospects, whatever your PC is, we're here for it all. And that kid in a candy store kind of feeling. Y'all ready? Let's rip into it. This is Talking Cardboard Live, episode number 10. Joe, how you doing?
Doing well, man. Happy Wednesday. Happy to be here. Rocking and rolling throughout the week. We're more than halfway there. So
yeah, we're halfway there. We're more than halfway there now, right?
Exactly. Got a card show this weekend. Doing 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. Got 3 tables setting up. So
fun,
should
man,
be good.
Fun.
Should be
fun.
fun.
Yeah. That sounds great. Sounds great.
What are you up to?
Well, I'm going to be going to a show this weekend too, and rocking and rolling with my shows on Whatnot. And hey, was this the seminar on the dangers of Viagra and Playboy magazine?
We're not really accepting requests from the chat quite yet, Alan. But I mean, we can always work something like that in. I can look it up real quick.
That wasn't the topic. It wasn't the planned topic for this week. If that's an issue. I know that might be an issue for certain demographics, so maybe we should look into a sponsorship or something like that. Maybe
we'd have to find a qualified individual to come on and speak about the effects, because I personally don't have those issues yet. Yeah, I am in my mid-50s, however, not quite to the blue pill yet.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Where's the bump thing?
Randall.
Oh, there. That's the wrong one. What's that?
Bongos. What up, Randy?
That's more like it.
So
hey, let's give ourselves some applause here. There we go.
So that Randy guy is a local. He's a North Carolina guy.
Nice.
He's famous in his town. He's about an hour from me. He's famous in his town for hopping on the zero-turn mower, the tidy whities, and riding around town with a jar of shine on his lap.
That's great. Now, I got a question for you. So North Carolinians is such a freaking long way. Do you guys have like a shorthand for that? It's like Norcares or something like that? What do you guys call each other?
Carolinians, Kakalakis.
Carolinians.
Kakalakis.
Oh, is it Kakalaki is short? Is that like slang for?
Kakalaki is North Kakalak, South Kakalaki. We call it Kakalaki. What's up, Manuel?
Oh, gotcha. Oh, you learn something new every day.
Right.
Not necessarily about Viagra and Playboy magazine, though. Like, not necessarily about that.
We could potentially have you on as a guest to discuss the issue. Honestly, and not necessarily the Playboy issue, but the issue
maybe. We
We
need some guests about that. Oh, by the way, I did meet a really cool couple who sets up at the shows here in Nashville that we should bring on to have a little conversation with. I was meaning to tell you we should bring in some local folks in each of our scenes and bring some guests in here. So we're going to plan to mix that up too. I just want to give a little shout out. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We do have a Patreon. We're planning to unroll some exciting perks for our members soon. If you'd like to support what we're doing here, we're just starting this thing out. I know it's episode 10, which is really exciting,
right?
Episode 10. But we have big plans for where we want to take this thing. And if you'd like to support what we're doing, we do have a Patreon. It's under Talking Cardboard Live, and you can become a member for $5 a month and just support what we're doing, because it does cost a little bit of money here for us to keep the lights on and keep doing this every month. And we'd love to do it for forever and ever. And that's my little plug. Not a hair plug.
I may need one though.
I refuse. I'm not doing too bad for 48. Not too bad. I'll take it. Anyways, guys, we were planning to talk about this week. We have a number of different things that we've been wanting to talk about on the show, and one thing that has just been really, it's just eye-opening to us every time we pop open the app. Like, it happens to me all the time. I'm on the app a lot, mostly just cruising around, seeing what my friends are doing on there, also kind of seeing what the competition is up to, and also you can get sometimes you can get some good deals, but also you can kind of get a feel for what the market is for certain players and stuff. It could be kind of helpful in that way. You can kind of see, maybe I need to tweak my strategy a little bit. But one thing that is just so freaking annoying to me, there are so many things that instantly turn me off from a stream. And the biggest ones for me, and I know that we share this sentiment, is it's probably this yelling and bid shaming and over aggression and kind of car salesman tactics and degrading your customers. Like it's all of that. Like sometimes it's just a combination of, maybe it's just one of those things that they're mainly doing, but a lot of times you get like all of them in the same stream, and they're also annoying. Like, so there's that too. But I think the thing that's annoying about them is that they are doing those things and they're being, in a way, dishonest, deceptive, aggressive, rude, you know.
It all gets wrapped up into a big crap burrito that if you're in the room, you get to take miniature bites out of, which I have no time for.
Yeah, you're taking well, yeah, that's like, there's some of us that don't like to eat shit. So excuse my language there. I gotta throw some money in the swear jar.
Got that out of the way. That's fine.
Yeah, I got that out of the way
today.
I got that out of the way. Sorry about that, guys. But you know, it's I think that's, we don't want that, but there's somehow a lot of these rooms are, it's exciting, I guess. It's maybe some people like to be yelled at. You know, I was telling Joe before the stream started, Alan, that when I was first starting to stream on Whatnot, that I started just kind of keeping track of all the annoying, stupid things, catchphrases that everybody would say. And it's almost like they had a script. It's like, we're not even halfway to comps. What are we doing, chat? W's in the chat. You know, all this dumb stuff, aggressively pointing at the card while the bidding's going on. You know, it's just, it gets so old. And then it's also, yeah.
Oh my God.
Exactly. It's so bad. And it's like I can't, even when I try to joke do it on my stream, I can't do it for more than 10 seconds because I just annoy myself. And I don't want to look at myself in the mirror after it. I feel like taking a shower, you know?
It is freaking hilarious when you do that, though. I'll be honest, that you do it. The 7 or 8 seconds you get rocking and rolling is absolutely freaking hilarious.
That's funny. You know what my favorite one is? My favorite one is like it's the fake yelling. It's like oh my God, guys. Oh my God, guys. It's a case hit. Oh my God, guys. This is he's such a beast. He's a total beast, you know? Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's a case, like I can't even, it's so annoying. And so the point that we wanted to talk about this, like, first off, Joe, I'm curious what you think. Like, obviously there's like a feeding frenzy that can happen with the environment on certain streams, and it tends to attract a lot of these types of folks that are running these streams. And then people want to be a part. Like, that's, I think, one of the things is people just want to be part of a feeding frenzy of like something that's exciting, and they like to be yelled at because they want to be in something that has loud music and just kind of feeds into all of their inability to pay attention to anything longer than 2 seconds. And that's like, maybe, you know, as an older guy, my way of viewing things, maybe it's just we're too old for this kind of stuff, you know. But I'm curious what you think is the root cause of all this behavior that I'm talking about, and why it feels like it's just so rampant on the app.
Well, so I'm a licensed auctioneer here in North Carolina, and part of my training in that was hype bidding, and the psychology behind it is that when it's a casino mentality. Okay. Why do casinos have all the lights, all the bells, all the whistles? You can't find a quiet spot in a casino.
No.
If you had to, right? So what that does is that raises your heart rate, raises your respiratory rate, and engages your sympathetic nervous system, which means it dumps dopamine and adrenaline into your system. So it creates this feed. And as you get these low level dumps, when you first get in these rooms, it starts to build. And all of a sudden you get a little more of a dump, and then a little more of a dump. And then, oh my God, they're going to run a $500 givey. Because a lot of these guys do. They're sponsored by Whatnot. They, whatever it is, they've got these connections that run these big givvies. And all of a sudden, oh my God, well, I got a chance to get this. I might get a $500 card. So I enter the givey. And then I really, watch what I'm doing here. I really lock in.
Yeah.
So, really focus. You see what I did there, right?
You gotta lock in. You gotta lock in.
So but you get in that, and it becomes, and typically you're running a less than 10 second sudden death. Oftentimes it's 5 second sudden death. Go. They throw something out there. Maybe maybe the comp is somewhat close to accurate. No. Sometimes the comp is like that card hadn't sold for that ever in a million years and probably never will. but it goes by so quickly, and you're already in that sympathetic, that excited state. So it just drives the thought that I can't lose.
Yeah.
I have to win. I have to win. I have to win. I have to win. And by winning, I get my max bid and a swipe, 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 swipe.
And come on, guys, we're not even close. Like that makes you sound like, to the people that are bidding, you better swipe because you're going to get a great deal on this card.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, like even the good deals on a lot of those streams are maybe like $5 lower than comp, or like $5 or $10, like on a bigger card, you know. But sometimes they're going to lose some money. But a lot of times the bigger cards that they're running are like not even that exciting a player. They're just like, you know, they're bigger cards of players that aren't super in demand. And you can't run all heaters. Like you can't run you're not going to have a full show of Ohtani and Judge, you know, just like you probably you could easily run a show like that if you had the inventory, but how are you going to keep up the inventory and be able to have the margins to be able to run successful shows that way? It's just probably not possible unless you've really got it kind of dialed in.
The other thing I feel like they do is that I feel like a lot of these folks schedule lulls. They schedule non-large cards. And they do that so that they can then complain and play the victim, because then you have this excitement, but you've got these people that have bought in, and I've already given away X number of $100 worth of cards and blah, blah. Yeah. And so now people feel guilty.
No, that is, I actually think that's a thing that the people will actually like. And I thought for a while, I'm like, oh man, maybe this guy is really like feeling like he's losing. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like I just got manipulated into swiping more because this guy is basically creating a sob story. Like he's not making any money on the cards, but like, you know, it's obviously not true. Otherwise, why would he be doing it like 3 times a week, every week? And doing the same tactics as well, like the exact same tactics. But also, like, I mean, this kind of ventures into the whole, like, everybody likes a S show, you know, everybody enjoys, like, I think people enjoy watching people who feel like they're on the brink of like losing it, you know, and that's where we talk about, like, sometimes even these crash outs are probably like scripted. They're just like, they're not real. They're not authentic. They're just like, it's part of a personality that attracts people. And I think that taps into like the entertainment aspect of it. I think there's entertainment, but then there's also a lot of dishonesty that's going on, and manipulation that's going on. And then we're not even talking about like the shill bidding that's going on. That's like artificially inflating the prices of cards on a lot of these big streamers, allegedly. But we know that it's not alleged. There are some very large accounts. What up, Joe? What up, Joe? There are several really big W accounts around me, and I know some of them personally, and I watch them in each other's rooms. They're related. They're all related, and so I watch them in the rooms bidding things up, and I'm like, it's cringe as you know what to me. And yeah, a lot of it I think is scripted, but there's also some that isn't. And you know, some of these guys are living on the edge to begin with. And so when they tank a card, when they do run a, you know, $15,000 card and it goes for $2,500, I mean, there's been a local streamer that has lost it a couple of different times, and I know him personally, and he is actually losing it. He is not well when these things happen. Yeah. But I mean, there's some times where people are just like, it's almost like casino to them. They're just like, hey, it's not like it's casino for us as buyers going into the room. Who knows what we'll get? Maybe we'll get something crazy. Maybe they won't notice it's a number to 10. Maybe, you know, all this kind of stuff we can kind of read between the lines. And then, you know, they might on the other side are just like, F it. I'm going to run this like $500 card and see if I get $700 for it. Yep. And I might, but I might also lose. And so it's like, in a way, it's funny too, because the house always wins. It's like what not always wins. So
when you manufacture the hype, right? When you manufacture the hype and get the hype up, you get the adrenaline up, you get the dopamine levels up. And Junk Wax Kids in there also, he knows physiologically what I'm talking about, but that drives your heart rate up. And all of a sudden it's like, I can't lose. I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose. I want to go. I need in on this. I need to get this. I need this. It goes from, I might want this card to I need this card.
Yeah. No.
Right. And it's just like, yeah. Yeah, Junk. It's a real thing, man. You can watch them. They'll play in each other's rooms, and the same people show up on both sides of the fence, and they're all doing the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Well, I do think that this is put a set price. You know, that's what I do a lot of times on my shows, because I don't feel comfortable just running like big stuff. I just don't do it. You know, and then obviously on the seller to judge. This is where like. Sometimes people will just, we're gonna go for it, chat. Don't let me down, chat. Don't let me down. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose everything here. You know, it's this whole attitude of like, you guys gotta make sure I don't get screwed here. So I'm putting it in your hands, guys. Come on, like and that almost like if you're in that situation, you're like, oh, I buy from this guy regularly. I don't want him to like, you know, think I'm not showing up. And, you know, then you end up with people that maybe they like the person, but they're kind of at their mercy in a way. They're kind of they got like their hooks kind of locked into them a little bit, and they're manipulating them emotionally.
But that's exactly it, because you're all, you know, you have a community, right? Yeah,
this one.
I'm sorry. I'm just go ahead.
I'd rather be recognized by a friend than called chat all the time. Yeah, I very rarely use the word chat in my stream. Like it's so annoying. I think that's such an impersonal way of talking to the people that are like tuned into you. Like these are legitimate human beings. Like I'll thank everybody who buys a card for me and just call them by their name, you know? And a lot of folks on my stream, I get to know them by their first name, and I'll literally just say, hey, what's up, Rob? You know, like, how's it going, Alan? What's up, Kyle? You know, all these guys, you get to know your people, but you have streams on Whatnot where it gets all broken, because how can you know 300 people? You can't really know 300 people at a time. And then, you know, of those, you'll probably know a handful of those people, because they're like your whales. They're like the people that'll just like swipe, and they've got deep pockets or whatever, and they just like what you're doing. And they're like, that's 80-20 rule right there. Like 80% of the money you make is going to be 20% of your customers probably. So, and that's fine. That's just like, that's a fact of nature. But then you're going to have all these people that are just kind of in there for the vibe, or they're in there for, a lot of them are just in there for the givey. Sure. And that, but it's,
but a lot of these guys, a lot of these streamers have built communities like that. And it's, you know, the community that they build there are a lot of the same people in there every single show. And so you got that community, and as you build that community, you do get to know some of these folks, whatever. You know, I know a lot of the folks on my stream. I can call it where people live, their names, I mean, all kinds of stuff, you know, because I pay attention to that stuff. And it same, Randy, Joe, exactly. Shallow as hell, shallow as a damn pond after a drought. But you do have a community in there. And I think a lot of it, after a period of time, they do start feeding off of that, like, you know, don't let me down, don't let me take a bath on this, don't, you know, and you're like, first of all, these people are spending their hard-earned money with me. Okay, that first of all, thankful for anybody that spends a dime that they've earned on something that I'm selling. Like literally, I cannot thank any of them enough. But you know, a lot of these guys play off that, and it makes them feel bad that, oh well, maybe I can't let this guy down, I got to bid this up. Well, no, you don't. You have to bid what you can afford on a card that you enjoy. And I'm not here to tell you what you enjoy or not. You know,
everybody wants to be a part of something. I think there's a sense of belonging that can happen when you join a big, exciting stream, and here's the thing, you'll get like a little blip of acknowledgement from these streamers too. And especially if you overpay for a card, you notice how they say like, oh man, you gotta steal for that. And they paid like $40 over comps for it. You know, it's hilarious. It's usually like the reverse of what it actually is. And then when they get the card for like less than comps, they'll just be kind of like, you know, I mean, not all streamers are like that. I will say not all of them are like that. Some people like that. It's like, obviously, and we'll talk about this in a show in the future. When you're running a card business, there's a business side to it. So at the end of the day, the way you become profitable is by selling the cards for more than you pay for them. And you got to be able to do that over the long term, no matter if you're selling cards for like $3 a pop or you're selling cards for $100 a pop. But
and you're not going to max your return on every card, but you want the sum total, the net to be greater than what you have into it, or your card business is failing.
Yeah.
If you can't post growth, if you can't, exactly. I mean, why are you going to buy 15 boxes of Bowman, draft when my room would support 1.5? Well, at that point, I'll buy one and let them fight over it. Exactly. And that's exactly right.
And that's a big part too, is that especially for new collectors, there's so many people. I get new buyers every single stream, and there's people all the time that are finding Whatnot, and they're jumping in and becoming your customer for the first time. And many of these folks don't know anything about cards at all, and they're literally trusting the things that you say. And so I think a lot of folks on the app are actually taking advantage of that by the way they talk about cards, and some of this can be like you gotta learn. Everybody makes a bad deal. Like I've overpaid for so many cards. I've overpaid for so much stuff. I've made great deals, but I've also made some really dumb buys and like swiped stuff for way too much. And I got kind of caught in that frenzy. And I'm like, F this guy. I'm not going to let him win. I just don't like somebody for whatever stupid reason. Their account name is like a Packers fan or something like that. And I'm like, I'm not going to let this guy get this card. F him, so that will also factor in. But you have a bunch of these new, like, they're like industry guppies. They're like the little guppies that are coming in. And then you got like the sharks and the angelfish. You ever like a fish tank? Do you know anything about fish tanks, Joe?
Oh yeah.
So you know that like angelfish are like, they're pretty ruthless. Like they'll pick on like, they'll like kill other fish, like little ones. Like, so you got to be, but you get these little guppies that are kind of swimming around, and especially you get some mods in there that are like, and you'll see this too with the mods. Sometimes the mods are like, come on chat. They're like literally typing in the chat while the auction is happening. Come on chat. We got to get there. And then you'll get caught in that frenzy, and then you're just like, it's like I'm gonna make another like reference to the fish tank. When you drop the food in, all the fish just go freaking crazy, right? So, but then you have like the angelfish that are kind of patrolling around, and they're just like, they're gonna get you. And I don't know, it's just kind of it's a funny analogy, but it's a stupid analogy, but I think it's kind of appropriate for what it feels like being in some of these rooms.
Hey, well, and some mods are paid. Some mods are compensated mods. Okay. I mean, I know of 2 shows where the mods make 2%. There are 3 mods. Each mod makes 2% of the net per show.
I'd believe that.
But and it drives. I mean, it drives them to do more.
Oh yeah. They're going to hype up the show, and they're going to do everything they can to engage people, and it's just like become their hype man. And also I think some of those folks are the people that are shill bidding to drive up the prices so that, and I know this because I see some of these mods, and I often notice, especially when the streams are kind of deader, they'll be bidding pretty actively on stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, I usually just give cards to mods for helping out. That's usually what I do. But it's like I also don't like I'm not a big fish in the Whatnot pond. I've got a successful little stream in the mornings, but there's many shows that I run where I don't have any mods at all, and it's just like it's never a big deal for me. It's like I'm a one man wrecking crew most mornings, and I'll sometimes have some people pop in and help me out with stuff, but I don't need like somebody to. Do that.
When I pop in your stream, I mod for you. I mean, Kaiji mods for you.
A lot of people will mod for me. It's just like I'm not seeking that out. I guess it's also like there's people like that'll just you go and hop into the room, they'll just throw you a mod badge. They'll just throw you a mod badge, and like whether you have any interest in doing it or not, and that's fine. Like I just don't really do that often because I don't assume that anybody wants to mod for me. But it's like it's fine. There's very rarely I do get raids, and sometimes it's helpful to have a mod there to just pin somebody up who that's the main reason why I need mods is like to thank people who raid, because it just interrupts my show a little bit.
Yeah.
Like very occasionally I'll get dumbasses that they need to boot out or mute or whatever, kick out of the stream. I just like to toss people. Yeah. Alan just likes to toss all the people that would bid on Aaron Judge cards out of the show.
If they're bidding on Yankees, they're out of there.
So he can take them all.
Yep.
That's what he wants.
He's very controlling about that. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, it takes time away from your show. Yeah, it's it's a balance, but I do think, and I'm not hating on people, like a lot of these folks that we're talking about, they're objectively successful financially with what they're doing. It's true.
Yeah.
I wish that the app was different. Yes. I wish there was a way to screen all these people out. If I could press a button, not be able to not have to watch these kinds of streams, but it's just one of those things where we felt it would be an interesting conversation to have around just this whole thing of the bid shaming. Like, bid shaming is so stupid, that like yelling and just degrading your customers. Like, there's literally like, and you see this sometimes where they're just almost talking down to people that are bidding on the cards. Like they're just like it's making you feel bad that you got a deal on something.
Yeah. Like,
and that's something I'll never do. Like I was running some stuff this morning that I probably shouldn't have run. It's fine. Like I was selling some like $10, $15 cards for like $3. It's like, just like the most you're ever going to get from me is like, well, I guess you guys aren't into vintage today, or so I'll make some comment like that. It's never like, oh my God, I just got cooked, chat, like.
Okay, so if you're ever running vintage and it's not going well, you have my number. You can text. What are you doing, bro? I mean, seriously, we need to talk about this after this, okay?
I should just sell you all my vintage stuff. I should just sell it all to you.
That's another thing, Junk Wax. I mean, to that point, if you're running giveaways for your streams, now granted, when somebody pops in the stream and they've been on your stream for a millisecond and they ask, when's the give you running? I just ignore it.
Yeah.
What I don't do is shame or give people crap about asking for the givvies. My givvies are in my notes. People say, what was the givvy? It was a free sports card. Now, typically I have a stack of cards and I literally slap the sticky label on it and stick it in my givvy box. And then I line everything up afterwards. But I don't ever shame anybody for asking about a givvy, or because if I didn't want to be giving away free cards, then I shouldn't give away free cards and pay for that postage. But I choose to.
It's a point, and I do think that this is a good point that Manuel's making here, is that it's easy for people to talk in a demeaning way to other people on the app because they're not actually face to face. It's like, and I think that's true. I like to think that I never say anything that I wouldn't be willing to say directly to somebody's face. One of the things I try to, it's just a life rule that I try to abide by. And it's, I'm sure I've said some things in the past that it might be tough to say, but I do think that people cross the line a lot. And I do think that aside from like the whole thing with like givvies, it's like, I just say if somebody's like, when's the givvy? I'm like, it's at least it's less than 5 minutes. It's the maximum amount of time that a givvy runs. So it's less than 5 minutes. And, if that comes across as rude, it's not a big deal. Like if somebody repeatedly asks what the givvy is, or like there's certain types of people that come into the stream and you can tell they're only there for the givvy and they ask a lot of questions about it. And then you might be open to a little mockery from me. And I'm not a mean guy, but it's like, I'll get out my givvy goblin card and I'll be like, dude, when's the givvy? It's like
givvy goblin. That's amazing.
I get out the givvy goblin card and I'll mimic them a little bit, but it's what about not sending base? We gotta figure this out, man. Hey, eventually we're gonna get mods. Eventually we'll get mods, and we'll get somebody who helps us with these kind of with our super chats. When we get to the point where we can monetize, we get super chats. What about not sending base, just parallels? I mean, I think it's a good idea to not send junk out, because like if you send junk to people, like people don't like it. And I mean, I've never had maybe once or twice I've had somebody give me a bad review off of a Givey. It's just like so rarely, maybe once or twice. I think most people, when they get a Givey, they don't even remember that they got it.
Joe,
So they don't.
Are you talking about breaking, Joe? I feel like he's talking about breakers, because there are breakers on the W and on other platforms that will break boxes, and then we'll only send parallels, numbers, autos, only hits. They won't send the base. But what a lot of those folks end up doing is they never show the backs of cards. So they'll run a heritage break, and all the short prints that are unidentifiable by the front will sit in the back, and they'll collect all those. They run Series 1, Series 2 update, that kind of stuff, all of the base cards, all the golden mirror variations, that kind of stuff. They keep all that stuff.
Yeah, they won't catch a lot of that stuff. They won't catch it. And then like they won't catch the image variations. They won't catch a lot of the stuff. And then I guess you didn't get it, you know? If it's not like, hey, I'm a gold mirror that's on the front, and you can obviously tell that it's gold, you know, you're going to miss a lot of the stuff. And it's like, oops. And then it's also just, I don't know. I don't like breaking very much, but,
I mean, the way I look at that is if you're in a break, and I don't do breaks, but if I ever did a break, if you bought a team, you get every single card that came from that team. What you choose to do with it on your end is up to you, but literally you chose that team, you paid for that team, you get every single card of that team from that break, period. And it's all yours. You know, that's the way I felt about it. I only do breaks with two sellers, one on Fizzle Twist on TikTok, and then Mega Sports. But you know, they send everything, and it's just to me it's shady. Otherwise, there's too much back channel stuff, and there's out of all those piles of base, you know, there's stuff sitting in there.
We're talking about like the bigger streams. You break that down into the number of just base cards that get like thrown to the side, even if it's just bulk, like they're making hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of bulk, like every week on top of that as well. Like the bulk will sell. It won't sell for much, but if it's brand new product, it'll probably sell for a lot more than like a lot of base. Like it's not good. Like the brand new product, it won't sell for like the same as like 91 Donruss or something like that. You know, it's like, so there will be a demand for that, and set collectors and things like that. There are people who would gladly buy like an entire like 4-row box that they could probably make most of a complete set from. It's a couple of the stars and the rookies, and pay like, you know, $20 or $30 for, and that's like, that costs them nothing, because they're just like, it's like the byproduct, it's like the waste product of their scheme that it's like they're making money off of every single aspect of it, and it feels a little sleazy, but you know, it's like, hey,
honest,
but hey, you know, it's like that's there's people who participate in that, and they should, you know, not do that, but also like I don't participate in breaks, so it's just I don't have any real experience in that whole thing, but it does feel a little shady to me. It's like, well, I guess that if they tell you what they're sending, but sometimes they don't do that at all.
No,
right?
Sometimes they'll run a break, and all of a sudden you get the inserts, and you get your numbered or autos, where you get your hits, quote unquote, but then you get nothing else. You're like, where are the rest of my cards at? Oh, we don't sell base. Well, what do you do with the base? Oh, we discard all of it. Said nobody that sells cards ever.
They're not throwing any of that away. They're not throwing any of it away. They're throwing your cards into boxes and selling those boxes is what they're doing.
And most of those people have backroom sorters that go through and pick out the short printed stuff, the image variations, the golden, that kind of stuff. So they skim that stuff. Then what they do at the regular base, maybe they do discard all of it. But there are people that are trained to go through that stuff and pick out something, right?
It's not that hard to find golden mirrors. You just turn the cards around and flip them around. It's like, it wouldn't even be that hard for a breaker, to be honest about that. But I don't know. I just don't watch the breakers, so I don't really know if that's what they do. So
Well, they rip packs so quickly, John, that it's a timed thing, and they rip packs, they rip them, boom, 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 boom. Oh, look at this! But they never show the backs. And if you
oh,
don't see the backs, I mean, there are a few images that you can catch are just like absolutely like that's an image variation.
yeah.
But for the most part, they've gotten a lot more sneaky with that kind
So
of stuff.
you gotta be like, if you buy from them, you gotta, but it's hard to do because you wouldn't even know a lot of times what the new image variations are, even because you're not used to what the regular variation is yet.
Yep.
That's so sneaky. It's so dishonest.
It is. It feeds back in what we talked about last week, the dishonesty.
It's a whole like S circle. Like the dishonesty feeds into the yelling, and the aggression leads into all the other things. It's
a vicious circle. It really is.
It is a vicious circle. So here we are trying to fight the good fight against all that. But
and Alan, I appreciate your comments about the being honest sellers, because I do. John and I both pride ourselves on being honest and straightforward and upfront. And if something's wrong with a card, we notice it, we'll call it out. That kind of stuff. It's just that is just being a good steward of your salesmanship, in my opinion. And like I said, I appreciate the people that come into my room and spend their hard-earned money. They work hard for their money, and if they choose to spend $5 with me or $50 with me, I appreciate it exactly the same.
I say this at least a couple times a week, that there's a lot of places that they could be at any given time of the day. And the fact that many of these folks are choosing to like tune into my entire stream and just chill out with me, listen to some music, check out some cards, crack some jokes, it's a pretty cool thing. And it's like, what can you be other than grateful for that? It's pretty amazing. But there's a lot of streamers that I don't hear really. It's not a big deal. It is what it is. Some folks, it has a different tone, and I know that's not maybe the grateful card dealer is not everybody's approach.
No, it's not everybody's model. I mean, and quite frankly, I think that some folks thrive off of being a villain. I think it's to some degree. I think sometimes it's their shtick, and the guy that's easy to hate or whatever, and all of a sudden I'm slinging cards and making off the cuff comment here and there and keep people on edge. But again, it just keeps that dopamine and adrenaline up, and it feeds buying at that point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is. It's just part of the ecosphere of the card industry that we wanted to talk about today, and I think it's a good thing to talk about. So glad we did. I feel like we've covered a lot of ground in almost 40 minutes here. I'd rather take a nickel a day from 20 people than $1 a day from one, because if one backs out, I still got 95 cents. There you go.
That's a good point. I mean, it's you can get those big folks in there, and they'll have that one big splash, and then you never see them again. Meanwhile, you just crapped all over the people that have been supporting you, and there's no return, there's no gain in that. That's a zero mover and a loser. There's people that very rarely buy from me, but they're always entering into the giveys. But then every once in a while, I'll see them buy something. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So they're not just here to collect giveys. They're just like, maybe they just don't have a lot of money, and that's totally cool. There's all kinds of reasons people hop on the app. There's a lot of people that don't have a ton of money to be swiping on cards for, and that's fine. Some people are younger, maybe they're working, maybe they're like, they're starting and they're new, and they don't want to throw a bunch of money into a hobby they don't really know a lot about. So they're just like, oh, let me learn a little bit here, and let me pick up a card or two here where I can. And I think that's great too. You obviously need the folks that are a little more serious collectors sometimes to help. Again, you have people that spend more money in your shows, and that's great. And you want to treat those people well, but you got to treat everybody like a human being. At least that's how I see it. And the more you can do that and just kind of consistently show up for that. And, obviously you're going to have your own personality. Some people don't like my personality. I'm sure some people would go to my stream and say, I hate country music. And then they'd swipe, it's just like, it's fine. Go somewhere else. I mean, I'm sure people pop on my stream before they're like, oh God, heavy metal, I'm out of here. Well, I mean, all right, well, I'm going to rock out in the morning. Honestly, if it's 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm I'm not going to have the slow, easy jams playing in the background because I'm going to nod the hell off.
Well, honestly, the conversation is like, it's one of the things I like most about it. It's if you were just doing it yourself and they had no interaction with anybody, it would just be so boring to me. Like I'd be very bored. But actually, there's some streams where I'm just like trying to get people to interact with me, and maybe it's borderline annoying a little bit. But it's like I want to know how people's days are going. I want to, hear what they like. I don't know everything about baseball, so I ask a lot of questions about baseball. How's this guy doing? Like, seems like he's pretty popular. Like, did he just get called up or something? Like, why does everybody want this guy? Like it's like I'll ask questions like that. I don't pretend to be the expert on everything, but it's like having the conversations about the hobby and about the sport is really fun. It's what bonds us as collectors and builds community, I think.
Yeah, and I get some people come on my stream that are clearly kids. We had a young lady pop in a couple of weeks ago that was brand new collector, 14 years old. She said so, and it was funny because somebody, I think I asked who she collected, and I said she and her dad are she's starting to collect with her dad. It's their thing, and she collects Yankees. Well, I mean, I started running Yankees cards, and I think that from that point forward, there were two people that bought cards that didn't give their cards to this young lady. And she wanted to give you, so I had a label, and I just upped her shipping from the 0 to 1 ounce to, I think it was like a pound by the time it was done.
That's so cool.
Yeah, she got this box, but then I had several other people like hit me up through DMs. They're like, hey, if I send you a box of cards, will you send them to this young lady? You have her address, that kind of stuff. I'll pay for shipping, whatever, blah blah. I was like, dude, are you serious? I mean, send them. I'll take care of it. You send them to me. I'll get them out to her. And 3 boxes so far, dude. Like, not small boxes of cards going out to this young lady. I'm like, dude, she got set up based upon the community that was there, and people care.
That's great.
It's great. If I'm just up there slinging cards, don't really give a crap about whatever. First of all, Manuel's not going to hang out with me. So it's like, you get a community that way, and hopefully you build a community of good folks and not a bunch of parasitic crap heads that,
I do think I wonder sometimes if the people that seem like they're always in a bad mood, and I wonder if they're like almost created their own reality around that. They're attracting people that are equally aggressive and looking to scheme and things like that. I wonder if that's a part of it. That yes, you get some folks that get wrapped into it. Maybe they get some deals and they like what's being offered. Or maybe they have there's some brand new product or a huge card that they want, I'll certainly tolerate like a crappy stream if there's something in the back that I want. And I'll even wait a little bit to try to get them to run it if it's something that I want. But it's like, I wonder sometimes if the people, part of the reason why they seem to always be in a bad mood is that they attract crappy people to their stream.
I mean, there are people on there that I think there's two kinds of people in there that are like that. I think there's a manufactured curmudgeonry, and I know curmudgeonry is not a word. I just made that stuff up just off the tip of my tongue. But I think that some of that is manufactured as an act, but I think some of it is people are on there trying to make a connection that if they're just getting given crap in return, then it turns a bad situation almost worse to some degree. I mean, psychologically, you can take somebody who's having a terrible day and you can smile at them, and it creates an endorphin rush for that person and maybe changes their day to the positive. You can also look at that person and curse at them, give them a horrible look, and walk away and ignore them, and put them into free fall. No. That's why I end my show saying, hey, it doesn't cost anything to be kind. It's free. Smile at some random person today. You may be it may be the one smile that keeps them around on this earth another day.
It's true.
And just be kind to other people. You don't have to crap on other people to have a better life yourself. Just
you don't. You don't. Right? I love that. I think it's a good place for us to wrap this conversation up. To feel good about it. It's like I think that there's an alternative to the things that we find annoying. I'm sure that there's people, again, that don't like our streams for whatever reason, and that's cool. There's a little bit of something for everybody out there. on the Whatnot app and all the other places, as well as here on YouTube. I'm sure there's people that are like, who are these older dudes, yapping about? What are they yapping about? I'm sure we get some of that too. It's fine. I'm
fun with you guys, whatever.
I'm okay with that. But I think this is a good conversation to have nonetheless, and we'll have some more. We'll have some more. Hey, we got a check in here. There you go. Thank you there. Appreciate the check in there. It is a regular thing on Wednesdays. Yeah, this is our 10th episode, everybody. I saw our we had like 7 people on our stream at one point. I think that was the most.
We got to 8.
Oh shoot, I think that's the most we've ever had. At one time. So that's cool. We're breaking records every time, guys.
8 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday, Joe. 8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah,
every Wednesday. Fun. So we're gonna be trying to bring some guests in here too, and we're gonna be continuing to talk about interesting topics, at least topics we find interesting. Hopefully, you guys find them interesting as well. And also, we're gonna be rolling out some cool stuff. We do have a Patreon. Just a little shout out to our Patreon. We're gonna be rolling out some cool. We have a really cool idea that we want to get going here pretty soon, where we're doing a monthly givey show, where people can jump in and only members of our Patreon will be invited, and you'll get to hang out with us and get free stuff. Free stuff is cool, right? Record breaker podcast. Cool. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, but we're having fun with it. And on the subject of fun, right? Why don't we switch gears to Look What I Found, which is our segment where we talk about like the cool cards that we have in our collections or just lying around, things that light us up, things that we like. And I'm sure there's things that you all like. And, we just want to talk about like the joy of the hobby a little bit too. We always want to end any of our shows with a little bit of brightness and talking about the things that really why we're here, which is the joy of collecting.
And when we first started this idea, John and I talked, we wanted to focus in on the joy of collecting, not the money of collecting. So, this segment, look what we found is based upon cards that we like, not necessarily cards that are world beaters, cards that are going to go break some financial record selling somewhere. It's cards that we enjoy, so the card may be worth 5 cents, but we enjoy the card. No. So,
good point.
You go ahead and lead us off this time, John. I led off last week.
All right. Well, I was at a local card shop today and was just thumbing through a box, and I found these. I'm a Bears fan, so I found these super low cost refractors of a couple of my favorite Bears of all time. Found Devin Hester numbered to 150 and got a checkerboard Walter Payton. Not bad, right?
Nice.
That was fun. I don't know. I was just like, Bears Hall of Famers. Love it.
What up, Alpha?
What's up, guys?
Not sure who that is, but so I got a box of cards from one of my daughter's friends who does junk cleanouts, and I guess that had a barn, and it had one of these in it.
Oh, yeah.
Nolan Ryan. And this is a 23 karat solid gold sculpted card of Nolan Ryan. I mean,
sick.
Absolutely craziness, and it's numbered out of 5,714.
Hey, there you go.
Right there on the bottom.
That's a nice one.
So it's
I do like those. Like some of them look so tacky, but like they're great. Like I actually think that all those are pretty undervalued, but just because maybe not tops or whatever. But I think those are dope.
I do too.
I'll pick those things up all the time, like things like that. I don't have a ton of those Nolan Ryans. I don't think I have a single one of those Nolan Ryans, but that's a good one, man.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And Alan, I know that you're a big Nolan Ryan guy, dude. I know that. So,
Walter Payton Funko, man, that's cool. I would have wondered that.
Right. And to give full due credit, Mr. Pettis is the one that set us up with the name of this segment, by the way. He suggested it.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
It was a cool idea.
It's a cool idea. We stole it, man. I guess you gave it to us, so we didn't really steal it, but we want to give you credit as well. So, the next card I wanted to show, I thought I bought a collection, and this was in the collection, and I thought it was interesting. It's like these were promo, like these are cards that came in with tequila, like a brand of tequila. Like they're these interesting, they're not really licensed, but they kind of look like 74 tops and kind of interesting, right?
Tequila card.
They're like
Schmidt. That's amazing.
It's like a Mike Schmidt tequila card that's got it's got some fish on the back.
I've never seen that before.
I know, it's kind of weird, right?
That's cool.
I thought it was cool.
Hey, Justin, thanks for popping in during finals too, man. Hope you're doing well, dude. Good luck on that, man. Pulling for you, bro. So second card of Look What I Found also came from that lot, and it has two of my favorite players of all time on there, which would be Roberto Clemente and Hank Aaron. And it's also got this guy Orlando Cepeda. You might have heard of him on there. Dude, those three sharing one card is just, I mean, to me, it's the card's a little beat up, but the names and that kind of stuff on it are just, it's a beautiful card to me.
Sometimes those old 60s and 70s leaders had such banger lineups, man. I had one that was I think I might still have it. Hank Aaron and Willie Mays and who's the third guy on it? It had three super big guys. So those are fun though. You're oh, and then sometimes a player, three players you'd never heard of before, the ERA leaders or whatever. I never heard of those guys.
Yeah. It's funny though. Some of those you look back and you're oh, okay. I kind of remember that. Jim Bunning was a Detroit pitcher.
Oh yeah, Bunning was good.
Yankees killer. Yeah. And I just knew the name, and I saw it. I was holy cow, that's what that mean. He was a big Yankee killer back in the 60s. They did not, yeah.
That's a sweet card. Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, man.
Last card I'm going to share is so during the pandemic, we all got a little bored. I mean, to a certain extent, maybe some of us didn't get bored at all, but there was a lot of downtime and surfing on the internet. And I started getting back into collecting again. I've had waves where I get into collecting and out of it. And I was just well, I got nothing else to do. Maybe I'll just start buying some cards. And this is, I think, before Whatnot even existed, right? But there was people that were breaking, and there was all kinds of stuff that was happening. I bought the long way of saying I bought a bunch of these Topps Project 70 cards.
Love those.
That was the only thing that I consistently, I just for a good half a year, I bought almost the whole run of the cards that they were selling. And they were if you, I have a couple of them, a couple of the 2020s, but the Project 70s were the ones I bought most of. I bought a lot of the Project 70s. I was just oh man, there's a chance you could get a really cool one. You get a short print or something like that. Mm-hmm. And because I heard that was something that would happen, and I'd buy them, and I'd never get anything that was above a regular one. And then one time I got just this random extra package that was sent to me. And I was well, what the hell is this? And, I usually, but you buy them 3 at a time and you would save money. Right. Mm-hmm. And I opened it up, and it wasn't graded at the time, but
Ricky Henderson, holy smoke.
Rainbow foil Ricky Henderson numbered to 70. Rainbow foil, and I was oh, that's so cool. And I had to get it. I had to get it slabbed up. So, and it didn't gem, but it's a 9. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good card, right?
Yeah.
So that was fun. I mean, I didn't pay much for the card at the time. But there was I went on a little kick, and that was kind of fun, because I think in a way that whole time in my life is part of what kind of steered me back into collecting, and then eventually led me to thinking that maybe I could sell a card or two, and turns out I can do that. So yeah, Ricky approves. Ricky definitely approves of the card. Ricky definitely approves. These things can go crazy. Some of these cards are nuts. I think that might be one of the 2020s I have as a Shohei that gemmed that I got in my case. But sometimes they'll grade okay. But they're cool. I like those a lot.
I got a couple of Jeters and a couple of Mariano Rivera, the Project 70s, and Tony Gwynn. And I love the artwork cards. I mean, we talked about the Lauren Taylor cards and that kind of stuff. Even, I mean, just I love the art renditions of that kind of stuff, and the remakes is unbelievable.
Very cool.
Really good stuff.
I think they will appreciate a lot over time too. I really do think they will.
Well, they ran their print runs. They're not making anymore, so they're all technically shorter printed cards. There's not
Some of them are very
giant-
short. Some of them are under 500. You know,
Yep.
some of them are very short printed.
Yep. So the last ones I'm going to bring, and I had to sort of duck and grab the other ones, but one of my dad's favorite players. My dad grew up in Dearborn, Michigan, so one of his favorite players growing up was Al Kaline. And in that box of cards the other day that I got, at the bottom were those.
That's so crazy.
Okay, that's a 54 Kaline rookie. That's a 55 Kaline second year. This is a 63, and this is a 67.
Nuts,
and all
man.
of them were just sitting there at the bottom of this box. And I mean, just you look at the bottom of a box with some archive stuff in it, you don't expect to see the real deal at the bottom, right? And just, I mean, a Hall of Famer like that, and the personal connection being that is one of my dad's favorite players growing up watching play for Detroit. Just, I mean, it was like a full circle moment for me.
Yeah,
It was really stinking cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, there's all kinds of finds that you can have, and just you know, I think that some of that stuff can be, you know, it seems like oh, you know, maybe there was a reason that you were the one to find that there. You know, it's like I think that to myself sometimes with some of the stuff I find as well. There's like, oh, maybe that was meant to be. You know.
Hey, Manuel, that's true. It's keeping up with the Joneses, man. They got to have what's new and fresh. Meanwhile, these new guys, their value cycle, their performance cycles. You know what doesn't cycle with Al Kaline? Anything, because he doesn't play anymore. He's already a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Nothing will ever change. That value will stay the same or go up forever. I mean, just these new guys, maybe someone will see. I mean, I think you're pretty good if you're collecting Shohei, if you're collecting Judge, Ronald Acuna Jr., some of these players, they're really not going to take much of a hit.
Unless they start throwing chairs off the roof or, you know, whatever.
Sure. You know, but
whatever it is.
Take their family hostage, you know, whatever it is. But yeah, you know, but that's, you know, it's not just about that. It's about, and baseball card collecting for me has always been about the history of it, you know, understanding who came before, who set the standards that are being broken now, you know, the stats. And my dad was always blown away growing up. He's like, how do you know all that? I'm like, because I read the back of the cards.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's to me, that's fun. That's interesting to me.
That was one of my favorite things to do when I was a little kid. I would sort all the cards by team. Like I'd sort them by team, and then I'd read the back of the cards and find out who the good players were on each team and try to figure out. I had no idea what any of the stats meant back when I was first starting to collect. And you're like, what's AVG mean? What does that even mean? You know, like you don't even know at one point. Just try to figure it all out. It's fun though. Like dropped off to complete a deal on cards that someone bought from me. All right, great.
Well done, Alan.
Great. Make that deal, man. Make that deal.
Yeah, chairs
yeah.
Up the roof.
That was definitely what I was definitely what I was referring to. Definitely what I was referring to there.
It is, but at the same time, you didn't know what the stats meant at first, right? But it all of a sudden you know what an average is.
Oh,
you know,
yeah. You figure it out.
What an average is, and you learn what percentages is, and you know, and so it I don't know. Believe me, I'm not a big math guy, but it did help as far as that goes, as far as exposing you to, you know, what an average is. What does it mean? You know, okay, the guy bats 313. Well, what does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, I was hungry to learn about all kinds of stuff when I was. I mean, yeah. I feel like that's never changed for me. Just like I love to learn, so it's like the cards, the information on the back is something that a lot of people just look over. I'm not saying I'm better than people for looking at the back and seeing like, are they a left-hander? Are they right-handed? What's their number? Like all that stuff. Like it's just kind of fascinating to me. Kind of interesting to look at it, and then. Yeah, a lot of my early team choices were dependent on like which logos I thought looked the coolest, you know?
Yeah.
It's because I didn't have anybody sitting around telling me you got to be this fan or that fan or whatever. I lived in an area of the nation where you could watch Cubs and Cardinals and Braves games like all week long. and my family members would just kind of have all of them on. Like, it's kind of confusing for me, but
I grew up in an area where we had the Cleveland Indians and the Pittsburgh Pirates. That was it for baseball. And, you know, and to be honest, we didn't watch much because on a farm, you work all the time. You don't have cable or any of that kind of stuff. So,
well, yeah, and a lot of the games are like during the daytime when, you know, you're out working or whatever. Yeah. Well, guys, this has been a really fun show. We are about tapping the hour mark, and I think it's time for us to roll here. But guys, it's been fun. We'll be back again next Wednesday. We'll have another exciting topic for you. Please, if you like what we're doing, please hit the like and subscribe buttons here on YouTube. It does help out as well. If you'd like to leave us a comment, we'd appreciate it, because we're always looking to make this show better. If you have ideas for topics you'd like us to discuss, you have any ideas for like guests we might like to invite to be on the show, feel free to drop those into the comments. We do read the comments and we try to respond to everything that people drop in as well. We do have a Patreon. Our Patreon is Talking Cardboard Live, and you can support our channel that way as well until we get to the point where we can monetize here on YouTube. It's the only way we can monetize and help support what we're doing here financially. We do have some bills here that we pay to make this happen every week. We do have social media channels as well. We have an Instagram and we do have a TikTok.
I post stuff on my TikTok and that, and get it out on Facebook and stuff as well. So appreciate you guys hanging out with us and spending your time with us tonight. It's been fun hanging out, chatting. We look forward to continue this engagement and stuff moving forward and growing this up. It's we're really enjoying it. We obviously, I hope it comes across. We have a lot of fun doing it, because we do. But we appreciate the interactions and that kind of stuff as well with y'all. So we appreciate y'all spending your time with us tonight.
It's been a really fun time. It's been the most active chat we've ever had too. I just want to say,
sure.
We really appreciate all the audience participation, and we'll be back again next week. Let's get this outro music rolling, and we'll see you guys next time.
Appreciate you. Have a great week.